Hey guys, Infamous 7-cylinder here, and I am working on a project for a friend of mine. This is a tail light, an LED tail light out of a 2016 GMC Yukon. And turns out that there's a common problem here. I don't know if it's always on the passenger side, but this one was on the passenger side. In several other videos, they were all on the passenger side as well. What happens is there's a break in the circuitry that takes the brake light out of commission. Focus. That there? I've already soldered it up. Sorry I didn't show you guys that. But basically, it's a very, very thin piece of metal. And it's what the tail light sends electricity through for the brakes when you apply the brake pedal. Now, to get these tail lights out, it's semi-simple, and I'm not going to record it because it's just that simple. You can YouTube plenty of other people just like I did, and they will all show you how to dismantle the tail light and take it out of the truck. But I've already done that, and now I'm back at my shop. The vehicle is elsewhere, and I've repaired it. And see if I can get an even better. So right there, plenty of solder. Good thing to use plenty of solder. And I just used my father's old Weller. I don't even know if they still make them anymore, but it's a great gun. I absolutely love it. You put plenty of solder on that, good to go. And what I did to get this thing apart, I've seen one guy do it, and I don't remember his YouTube name, or his channel name, but what he had done was he had taken just like the tip of the soldering gun, and he tried to just make a giant hole with it. No offense, dude. I kind of think that's ridiculous, because you're just hacking away at it. So what I did, I think I seen someone else do this as well. Took a blowtorch, turn it on. A tiny little one like this is all you need. And you take a razor blade. You don't have to use vice grips. I use vice grips. It just makes it easier to hold. And you don't have to constantly hold it. Do not use it in the knife. If you have one of these little collapsible knives, don't use it with that, because the amount of heat transference in this thing will just suck up all the heat out of the razor blade. If you hold it here in the vice grips where it's further away from the heat versus this thing holds like half the blade, it'll just suck all the heat out of it, and it'll make it more difficult for you to cut through this stuff. But you heat it up until it gets kind of cherry red, and then you very, very carefully make yourself some notches. Very slowly, go slow with it. Don't try to barrel into this thing and like you're cutting a hole to china. Very, very gently cut a hole. And you just do straight lines. Pull a little piece of plastic out. This guy. Then you go ahead and solder it, and you're good to go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this little piece, this little plastic piece, the one that I cut out. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it back in there. And I'm going to JB weld around it, and it's going to leave just a little gap up here, because I didn't cut right. I cut too far down, and then I cut further back up, because I didn't see that break until I cut further up. So I did it wrong at first, but I got it. And then most of the plastic here will be covered, and then I'll just fill in this upper section here with JB weld that I had to cut out a second time. So that's it. I hope you guys find this helpful. One other thing, whenever you first open this up, and you'll see it on other YouTube channels, whenever you first open this up, that little tab there, right where you see, let me see, right where you see all of this solder here, this part, this thin part, actually cracks and ends up below down in here. inside of this space. What I did was I took a pair of needle nose and very gently pulled this little this little metal tab up and set it on top of this guy, so there was no crack. Because this piece, whenever it breaks, it falls down inside of the space inside of the taillight. So what you do, grab it, or what I did, and this was just helpful for me because I'm not much of a solderer. I do this as a hobby. I grabbed this little bitty piece, pulled it up, and kind of set it on top of this other piece where it was supposed to be originally, because it had separated. That just made it a lot easier to solder, a lot easier to see where my solder goes, and it makes it just easier for me that I don't have to worry about solder accidentally falling down inside of the taillight lens, because it could. You heat up that solder enough, that stuff is like water, it's liquid. So if it falls through that crack and goes down into the taillight, then you get a little splotch of silver inside of the taillight, and it burns it and it doesn't look happy. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Leave a comment. Thank you.